Hey guys, it's your girl Mimi and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to be talking about why I particularly love Alberta, you know, as my favorite province in Canada. So having stayed here for 1 year, guys, I think this is the best time to talk about this because when we're moving, my biggest fear is I don't want to settle in a province that will be difficult for me to find a job. And I think that's like the fear of everyone else. Like, are there jobs there? What is the affordability and all of that? But I think job kind of tops everyone's list, at least for me and the people that I know. Job was like the major determinant of where you want to settle. So doing our research on all of that, I think three provinces kind of stood out, and that is Ontario, British Columbia, and Alberta. Now, Ontario was my, or that was where we wanted to go initially. As a matter of fact, we had booked our flight for Ontario and wanted to at least stay in Toronto. Upon looking for accommodation, I was moving there with a child. Damn, man, it wasn't funny at all. But we're like, you know what? Accommodation is expensive there because it's also, like the easiest place to find a job. So why not? So we kept on going back and forth. And then Sonia, my friend, shout out to her, who lives in Calgary, kind of called us and then gave us, like options to weigh before making a decision, right? At the end of the day, it was up to us, but I'm just grateful that she actually, had that conversation. Some people would have been like, I don't want to, let it not look as if I'm telling these people what to do. But yeah, she called us, she gave us all the options. Anyway, in this video, now that I'm in Calgary, I do not regret being in Alberta, and I'll tell you why. In terms of job, myself, and I'm speaking now that I'm making this video, myself, the people that I know, I've not seen anybody be out of job for 2-3 months or 6 months, not that I know, okay, before you quote me out of context. And then personally as well, within the first 3 weeks that we landed here, my husband got his first job and he's moved on to his second job now. Myself, I started, my first job doing contact center and then move on to project management eventually. But all of this were within the first month I got the first job, and then within the first 4 months that I'd moved on to that project management that I'm talking about. What I've discovered as well is that people who live in Calgary or in Alberta in general can also work in different other provinces. As a matter of fact, some people live in Calgary, in Alberta, and they work in Ontario, they work in BC, they work in different places. So with remote job, being the in thing right now, right? So in terms of job, I'm going to put like other articles because I don't want to like be doing statistics and all of that. I'll just put the articles, jobs and how the job market is growing. But I have to say this though, it is growing, but it's not in all sector. Alberta is known for oil, so I think one of the biggest fear people have when moving to Alberta is, when oil is doing well, when crude oil is doing well, the economy is, great, is awesome and all of that. And then when crude oil is not doing well, then the economy is not as great. But what they've managed to do right now is that they've tried to kind of, bring up other industries. Tech is actually a thing right now. If you're talking to people who are into like IT, cybersecurity, healthcare, engineers, these people can get a job anytime, anywhere, right? So in terms of like what the province is doing, I can see that they are actually doing their absolute best to make sure that the economy itself is not so dependent on oil, and they are putting all their efforts into growing all these other industries like tech as well. So in terms of job, I'm just grateful that the fear of, oh, will I be able to get a job in Alberta, could have led me to go to a province where everything that I'm earning would easily go to, my cost of living. Now, speaking of that, my second reason why I love Alberta, Calgary specifically, is because of affordability. So when we're looking for an accommodation in Ontario and a two-bedroom, like a two-bedroom in a good environment was going for, this was last year, not even current, last year, a two-bedroom was going for like 2,500 Canadian a month. And when we did the math, like the proof of fund that I'm coming with, I'll just use it to be paying rent. Now, another thing is that unlike Alberta, where you pay 5% GST, which is your sales tax, in Ontario is about 13% or so. Other provinces have 13%, all these other crazy percentage that you pay. But in Alberta, you pay 5% of your GST. And I think I didn't really understand what that 5% means. To put it into context, let's say you go to Walmart, you finish shopping. Whatever you buy, you pay 5% tax on that. If I bought something that is like, $1,000, I have to pay 5% of $1,000 on top of that thing. So now imagine when you shop for 1,000 and you have to pay 13% GST on that. My dear, now that I have 2 kids, I'm so grateful that even though the percentage did not register well at the time, I'm so happy that I didn't make that decision to go to that province. So in terms of like cost of living in Alberta here, especially in Calgary, you can still be getting a 2-bedroom for 1,500 Canadian dollar a month. And I'm talking about you renting in, not so, like, I'm not even talking about you going far from big cities, okay? You can still rent a house for 1,500 and 1,600. The 2-bedroom that we got at the time that we moved was $1,409 a month. And the 2-bedroom that we're going to get in Ontario was going for 2,500. Now, I know that cost of living has gone up in, different other provinces, including Alberta as well. But if you compare the crazy, man, I still choose and I still prefer Calgary. Now, let's talk about diversity, okay? I can barely move from here to Walmart without seeing someone from a different nationality. So in terms of like diversity, because I think that's like one of the biggest market that Ontario, especially Toronto, has, is that there are people from different part of the world. It's the same thing that I see here in Calgary as well, a reflection of different people from different ethnicities. So I particularly love that about Calgary, especially here in Alberta, because when you see people or see someone that looks like you, it kind of, I don't know about you, but I kind of love, when I see someone that looks like me, I like that there is diversity here. So we're talking jobs, we're talking cost of living, we're talking diversity, because you might not understand this, but let's also put that into you having kids and you have to put your child in a daycare. Here in Calgary, you'll be seeing between 1,500 up until, I've called a daycare that told me it's 2,500 a month, because they are not all in the same level. So they also have daycare, they have day homes. But the good thing is, by the time it's subsidized, you'll be able to, because there's subsidy depending on your family income. There is subsidy and there is grants. What you'll be paying out of pocket will be less. And imagine if you're now in a province where maybe the cheapest daycare is going in the high 1,000s or into the 2,000s. Even if you put subsidy and grants, what will be leaving you in a month might also get up to 800 or so. So you want to actually look at these things, because imagine if you have 2 kids in daycare and you're paying 800. That is like what? 1,600 a month. How much do you earn, right? So all of these things are the things to consider when moving to a province. I also want to talk about the ease of buying a property. The ease of buying a property in Calgary, for me, I think that's just like top-notch everything. The truth is, if you meet the criteria, you have the requirements, you go out there, look for a house that you want, boom, I will not go into mortgage and all of that. I have about 3 videos talking about how I bought my house and all of that, but I just want to talk about the ease of owning a property in Alberta. Compare that, and also compare the price of property in Toronto, in Ontario, in BC, and in other provinces, right? So For me, the way I'm ranking this is I'm ranking it to be Alberta is like the third province, the way I see it personally. I think you have Toronto, you have British Columbia. Sorry, Toronto is not a Toronto is not a province. So you have Ontario, and then you have British Columbia, and then you have Alberta. So for me, I think Alberta is like that third thing, that third force. Speaking of third force, Nigerians would understand. I think Alberta is like that third force, and the truth is, gradually, people, coming, people just keep trooping into this province, and things are beginning to go high as well. But I'm saying that it's still good compared to other provinces. Now, in terms of like owning a property, let's talk about owning a property, right? A 4-bedroom house, a 3-bedroom lane home, or even a front garage home, I'll put a link to cost of properties in Alberta in the description box below for you guys to see. The cost is still like, if you are going to buy a standalone home right now in Toronto, you better be holding like $1.5 million, right? Like, it's crazy. It's even going way higher than that right now. But in Alberta, you can still get a standalone brand new home from the 600s, right? You can get it from 600, 700, 800, and then it just keeps going depending on the upgrade and depending on, different other things that make a home, that makes a house expensive. So I'm not even going to lie to you. Most of the properties here now, people are coming from Toronto to come and buy them off. People are coming from BC because they cannot afford to buy in the provinces that they live. And that is just the truth, guys. So I think personally, after a year, I do not regret it. I have no plan. I already feel like I'm at home, to be honest. This place feels like home already. And we didn't even think twice to buy our property here because we just felt like... First-time home owners also get a lot of benefits. There are fees that you don't have to pay. They waive it because you're a first-time home owner. All of these things are very, very important, right? So in terms of like land transfer and those things that you have to pay if you buy a house in Toronto, you don't pay land transfer when you buy a house in Alberta. I don't want to go again. Let me not go too detailed into mortgage. There's already like 3 videos dedicated to how I bought my house, so let me not bore you with all of that. All that being said, if you're considering a province to move to, and I know these areas, job, accommodation, cost of living, these 3 things must definitely be like at the top of what you're considering, then honestly, don't take my word for it. Do your research as well, because this is not a legal advice. This is just me sharing my experience. But I can tell you that personally, my fears and these things that I thought would be so difficult here, that was not the case. So I'm so grateful that I'm here and I've spent 1 year already. I'm definitely looking forward to all the amazing things that this province has in store for me, and I have absolutely no doubt that it's going to be great things ahead. So let me know, what is your favorite province? Why do you prefer the province that you are in? I didn't talk about cold. I know it's very cold in Alberta, but let me be honest with you, it's cold in every province in Canada. But the truth is, even though Alberta has, do experience like a lot of snowing during the winter season, it also has a lot of sunshine. And so if you're a social butterfly like myself, although I kind of cool down now, but if you like social life and you're thinking of, okay, would I be able to have fun in Alberta? You definitely will. Downtown is full of restaurants, food, different activities. Let's not even talk about the fact that the beautiful Banff is here in Alberta. Calgary Zoo is one of the most talked about places. So another thing for me when I was moving is, would it be boring and all of that, because hey, I'm coming from Dubai. I don't want a place that would dull me, but the truth is, though here things are not shouting in your face and saying, oh, I'm here, but places are here that you can have fun. Downtown is full with restaurants, different kind of restaurants, you name it, Brazilian, any kind of food you like, Chinese, all of those things, you find them in downtown. Beautiful night experience. Okay, I had to book for Banff because I'm like, hey, I don't have any excuse. When we moved, I was pregnant, and I knew that I would not have the kind of fun that I want if I went with pregnancy, right? If I went pregnant. So now that I've had my baby, Banff is already in the bucket list. Okay, Banff is beautiful. There are different lakes there, different activities. You can do kayaking. It's just beautiful. You also have the Calgary Zoo. So these are the things like I have in my bucket list. And hey, the Oga Patapata of them all is the Calgary Stampede, which is coming up in July. Yeah, it's every July. I think we went there last year and it was awesome. It's just like this non-stop carnival that happens for like a few days. I was there last year. I'm going to go to Stampede again this year. It's just sweet. So many food on the, they kind of put different businesses, different activities, different food, it's just music, stages. I mean, Stampede is just something you don't want to miss. So if you're, worried about, I know Toronto has the vibe, it's close to US and all of that, Calgary also has its own. And trust me, now that I'm kind of soaked it all in, I'm just now in the mood to start enjoying the different things that, are here in Calgary. Because why not? So yeah, all those things, man, and more is why I love Calgary. Let me know the province that you currently want to go to. What's your reason? Is it because you have family and friends there? Now, speaking of family and friends, the Nigerian community in this Calgary is something to be jealous of. I'm not even going to lie to you. If you know, you know. But here, Nigerians have kind of formed community for themselves, and I'm sure it's not just Nigerians. I'm sure every other, ethnicity, Indians, and so I can see that grouping and all of that going on. I'm not saying that people do not kind of make friends outside their ethnicity, but I'm just saying that in terms of if you're worried about, oh, will I find someone from my country, my dear, Nigerian community here, they do mock weddings, they throw parties. Just last month I was in a comedy show organized by Sam Precious, and their AY is coming, Basket Mouth is coming to Calgary. So many activities going on. Omale was here last year. They just they don't get tired of it. And I think the reason why these shows are coming very frequent is because there's a lot of Nigerians that actually do live in Calgary, and I'm not even exaggerating. I love it because these people are doing so well for themselves. Like when you see a Nigerian, be like, yeah, that's a Nigerian. That's, you'll be proud to see a Nigerian in Calgary. I'm not even capping. If you know, because they're just doing amazing in different fields, and that's something to be proud of. Because if we had bad reputation, I think that flies a lot, but we have good reputation, doing so well, penetrating different industries, working so hard, owning things, and I just think that is amazing. And it's also because of how the government of Canada kind of uplifts people to be their best. If you have the quality, you have the talent. If you have the talent and you have the skill, nothing like the government is so there to back you up and to support you. And there are so many programs now kind of supporting Black people to go into tech, funded by different organizations, and I think that is something that is also amazing. There's just so many things to talk about, guys, but yeah, if you need a push, if you're thinking, because I was so confused trying to decide, BC was out of it because, man, I could not afford. And Toronto for me was like, yeah, that Lagos vibe, because of course I was a Lagosian before I moved to Dubai, and Dubai gives you that same Lagos vibe, the city, the nightlife and all of that. The city just does not close. I feel like Dubai exists 24 hours, does not shut down. And then when I was moving, Toronto was going to, kind of giving me that same vibe, but I'm so grateful that I'm not disappointed here, because imagine what it would be to move here and start regretting. So yeah, that is my 2 cents. Thank you so much, and have you subscribed? Do and subscribe. I always share useful information here, and if you subscribe, you'll be helping me grow this channel. YouTube will now push the video to so many other people. Thank you so much, and see you guys in my next video. Bye.